Wonderful.
Yeah. Great.
Ya,
Beautiful.
es que son temas son de carácter religioso, pero en ritmo.
He's saying that the rhythms that we're playing are from the Indians of South America up in the highlands, but that the melodies actually he's composing them and they usually have a religious theme to them. Like that one is actually a rejoiceful theme about the birth of Jesus Christ. So, but the rhythm is actually is un San Juanito, no? Traditional rhythm from Ecuador.
Oh, that's interesting.
How long has he been up here?
He's been in the U.S. since '94.
Since 94?
Yeah, August of '94.
And for a festival in Bountiful,
He came to actually to perform in a festival in Bountiful, Utah.
Oh,
That was
wonderful.
his first place. He came with a group of dancers and musicians, like cultural ambassadors that come and they show things of their country. And it was an international festival in Bountiful that they first came to. And then they started traveling more in different festivals. And then we met in San Francisco area, Monterey, actually.
That's great.
Wonderful. You can't imagine why they get together, can you? Both of them's musical.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah, he
something
gave me
coming.
this. I think it was my first present that he gave me when we met, right? Well, it wasn't this one, it was another one, but that was what he gave me.
That's just amazing.
Now, were you both members of the church?
Just him,
Just there.
yeah.
Well, get with it, lady.
No, she is.
Now I am.
Yeah, now,
She is now.
He was a member, and
in Ecuador, yeah.
and Peru. He's from Peru,
Peru.
and he served his mission there in
Wonderful.
'89. '89 was it? Almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I was baptized New Year's Eve of '95.
Oh, how neat.
So isn't that neat? New Year's Eve.
That was
Yeah.
the eve of my birth.
Was
Yeah,
it?
she was born on New Year's Day.
Wow.
Yeah, New Year's
cada
Day.
año.
Yeah. Good time. Should we play another one?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Which one? ¿Del libro en el libro de Mormon? You don't have to have a Book of Mormon in this household.
I don't think so.
You want to,
Because actually this is one of his compositions, and
you want it regular, what smaller?
third
Does that do
Nephi,
all right?
That's got the 3 in
That's
it.
the big, okay. Just hold on, let me find it.
I don't know that I got any singles.
No, there's some, I think I can find one in there.
Es cuando
We got some old ones in there that
might-
were,
Pick up your pen.
I could probably find a
Can be-
Norwegian one if I had to.
you want to know what
too much.
So, this is taken from 3rd Nephi, chapter 1.
My favorite one of them.
Yeah.
Explícale también por qué
Yeah.
esta música pasa.
When we were in the Spanish branch, they asked us to do something for Christmas. And, but the music we play is traditional from the Indians of South America. And we thought, when we looked through the hymn book for Christmas songs, they are really beautiful, but they come from another tradition, from the Old World tradition.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, let's look at how they must have celebrated the coming of Christ here, because we know that there was a sign as well
Yeah.
given to the people of the Americas, and so how they must have also celebrated it. And perhaps because this is traditional music from there, they might have celebrated using these type of instruments. And I'm just going to read the introduction to the 3rd Nephi, chapter 1. It says, "And Helaman was the son of Helaman, who was the son of Alma, who was the son of Alma, being a descendant of Nephi, who was the son of Lehi, who came out of Jerusalem in the first year of the reign of Zedekiah, the king of Judah." And it says, "And it came to pass," you know what's happening here, of course, and they're saying if it doesn't happen, you're dead, you're out of here. "So it came to pass that he went out and bowed himself down upon the earth and cried mightily to his God in behalf of his people, yea, those who were about to be destroyed because of their faith in the tradition of their fathers. And it came to pass that he cried mightily unto the Lord all that day, and behold, the voice of the Lord came unto him, saying, Lift up your head, and be of good cheer, for behold, the time is at hand, and on this night shall the sign be given. And on the morrow come I into the world, to show unto the world that I will fulfill all that which I have caused to be spoken by the mouth of my prophets. So this song talks about that.
And all the Indians in South America are direct descendants of that high.
Exactly. Son descendientes directos, ¿no? So.
Una vez más.
Really wonderful. Now, did you teach her all this? Did you know this before? Did these particular instruments?
Not these. Just the, not this one. Just the violin and the piano before. But not this style of music. I learned classical music and then.
She's been our choir director, and she plays the piano. She's played in Relief. They're all just great.
Yeah, people laugh because I played at this Claremont Folk Festival this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, I don't play the violin anymore, I play the fiddle.
Oh.
You can tell that my violin professor would have a heart attack.
Oh, sure.
He'd say, well, it's a different kind of feel to it. But he gave me this as a gift, and playing the piano, it wasn't too hard to figure it out a little bit. Just the breathing techniques he showed me. But that song has words, but we don't sing it because neither of us are really good singers. And they're in Spanish too, but it talks about it was the sons of Lehi, and they were waiting for the sign, and it goes through the story and how the sign came and the voice of the Lord came. So it's pretty much what we read in scriptures, but it's in song. But again, we need a singer. 'Cause we're not very good.
You probably just think you're not.
I don't know, neither of us.
Si hay alguien de acá que quiere hacer una audición, podemos hacer.
Yeah, you can see it. And if anybody wants to have an audition, we can start traveling.
Well, you're good enough to do that.
You're sure special.
great.
You certainly are. It's wonderful, the talent you have.
These are the bamboo, and the whole family is called Siku family, but the different sizes have different names. Like the one we're playing now are called Samponia, and the longer they get, the deeper the sound, right? And so these are a little bit longer, so they're a little bit deeper. And they come in small little tiny ones which we don't have very high, sort of a higher sound. And then they have some that we didn't bring that are about as a little less than about 4 feet tall maybe, and they're really deep in sound. And the way we play those, because they take a lot of breath, is he takes one and I'll take the other, and then we'll braid the song. So he plays all the notes that pertain to this part of the instrument, and I play those, and so we go back and forth. And it takes less breath than playing all the song yourself. And this is what it sounds like when we braid it. Llorando se fue.
Okay. Yo lo de arriba. Yeah. Explícale que tú
So
lo
he's
de
gonna
abajo.
play just these, and I'm just gonna play these to show you how we would braid it if we had the big ones. We would separate them and just play one level. So that's how you go back and
beautiful.
forth.
That's neat.
That way you don't have as much, it doesn't take as much lung power to blow
Yeah.
the big
Yeah.
ones.
Now,
Explícale las fiestas.
And how big around are the big tubes?
How big? They're pretty fat, they're pretty
Yeah.
wide. ¿Cuánto de gordo?
Ah, okay.
That size there.
Yeah.
Oh.
now
And
did he
an
take
inch.
lessons, or did he pick this up on his
He
own?
just picked it up.
You're kidding.
Oh, he's a natural, huh? Wow.
Well, he was raised listening to this music, and his mom was a singer with this kind of music. Because there they have the big festivals, and they're related to the harvest seasons, mostly the harvest festival, and so they have the musicians who play. And his mom was a singer, and his uncles they played, but they never wanted, her brothers, but they never wanted him to learn because it was also related with drink. Because you'd go maybe to the parties or even in the cities to the bars, and that's where you would play your music. Probably not this style of music, more city music, but anyway, and so you're in the bar playing and you usually start drinking, and it just becomes a different lifestyle. So the uncles didn't want to teach him. He wanted to learn when he was a kid, but they didn't want to teach him because they thought that would lead to
A
a
different
different
life.
life, and so they didn't want to teach him.
Now, are his family still in South America?
Well, his grandma is living alone way up in the mountains
Oh,
of
really?
Pancavelica, in a little village, and but his dad migrated with him and the family to the city for more opportunity. But she stayed up there. She's still up there alone, and actually she has a daughter there. I think one of his aunts are there, but most of his family lives in the city now. And it's very high, so you know the higher you go, the less oxygen you use, so I'm
yeah.
imagining it's even harder. And they also don't play just one or two, they play about 50 people could play at a time and dance in a circle.
Oh, really?
And they play all night, they don't just play a song and then talk like us. They keep on playing and dancing, because they work really hard, but when it's time to celebrate, they celebrate day and night for like 3 days or something.
Now, you speak perfect English. Were you raised here?
Yeah, I was born here in
Oh,
Portland, Oregon.
Oregon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I was only there about 2 months, and they moved to California. Or like my older brother said, Fofonia. You could say, they were going to Fofonia. So we moved to Salinas, California.
Yeah.
Do you know where that is?
Uh-huh.
And that's where I was raised.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know she's been
Now, is your
perfect.
family background music? Do you have music in your family background?
Well, the music parties, my dad, who just sort of honky-tonks on the piano, not, just fun stuff, he started us when I was actually that piano looks a lot like the one he got when I was 4. He got us a piano, and so he started us with music lessons, and my older brother too, and then violin, and so we just, but they don't come, they aren't particularly musicians, they just inculcated it in us a bit. Quite a bit.
They do it.
Practically my brother. He bought that old second-hand one, it was the old Hyde.
Right, that one was,
He made it over.
did he trim that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
at that, I was
made
like,
it
what
over.
looks a little strange.
And he had it in a room where the room was trimmed in this.
Hot pink, that's
No,
neat.
that's not hot pink. But I've been gonna paint it black, you can buy cans of paint.
Oh, yeah, right.
I never did. But
And
anyway,
that's good, because then you have more room for the pictures.
That's
I
right.
like one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
It's
That's all
headed
my
this way.
kids.
Yeah,
And
how
grandkids
many?
and great- Well, we got 4 children, and Glenda was never able to have any children, so I've got 3 that are producing. This boy on the end was our oldest grandchild, and he was killed in a snow avalanche up at Mount Baldy.
Oh.
In a snow, avalanche.
Yeah.
And he was with the Cub Scouts in
In
church.
77.
And our son, this is him, and, well, that's all mixed up. He had a second marriage, and that's
Uh-huh.
his second family. This is his own children.
Okay.
And
Well, this is
this
him
is
in-
one when they were younger. And these are my 4, oh, I gotta put Holly up.
Yeah, Holly's not there yet. She just got married at the end of March.
There's 4 married grandkids up there, and this is the one that's married also. She just got married in March. And this one's going to the Y.
Okay.
This one's sitting in this chair.
Right.
That's my daughter. And this was us on her 50th wedding anniversary. We just had our 57th.
You're right, so that was 7 years ago.
And this is my daughter, and
Her son.
this
That's
is
my son.
her son.
Okay,
He's my son-in-law, and my daughter's her daughter-in-law.
okay.
No, she's my daughter and my son.
Yeah, that's right.
Daughter and your son.
And they had 7 girls.
Wow, all girls.
All girls. Now she's got 5 boys.
Oh, really?
With 5
And the
girls.
sad part is, out of 53 grandchildren, he's the only one carrying his grandfather's
Knutsen's
name.
name is
Oh, really?
Boy.
Sí, sí. Pero ahora tienen 5 hijos porque se casaron 5.
Now, this one was born 6 weeks before this one got married. So she doesn't really, well, here's the picture.
Oh, I see.
See, she's the baby here. And this one is married.
What a big family.
But these are all younger. She was the only one married when this was taken. This one was in Oregon, and
Now she's in
by
Florida.
Corvallis. Her husband is in the service. They pay for his schooling there. at the
Yeah, there's a
university
university there.
Yeah.
at Corvallis. And
Now they're in
Pensacola.
Pensacola, he's in
Florida.
the Air Force. Or
He's just-
Navy.
Navy,
So they
that's
move
right,
around,
Navy.
huh?
Naval Air Force. Yeah, they'll move around, but they'll have a good living and good benefits.
Good.
Yeah.
Her son was-
Hello.
her son was just here last weekend.
And this is one of
He
the
was down from
daughters.
the visit from Washington.
No, this is Holly.
Was
I
he?
got Holly out here. That's her.
That's not a wedding.
Did she just get
That's a
married?
wedding announcement, yeah.
Oh, neat.
Underneath it is her sister with 3 dogs, just 4 babies born.
Oh, underneath it. Neat.
You have to kind of stack the pictures
Yeah.
sometimes,
I
Yeah.
got,
one on top of the
You
other.
got so many.
she was about 2 months away from having her baby.
Gabi's like this.
Oh, or those
Siberian Huskies.
Oh, those are
Yeah.
so
Beautiful, yeah.
beautiful.
See, they're
I really like
beautiful.
those. I want one.
Well, they had pups a while back, but they sold them all.
And then they had her spayed, and they said that they should have
Oh.
waited
Oh.
because she had more points. And
that tremolo in there, is that done with your breath? Or is
Yeah,
that
the way he breathes.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
The way he flows.
Yes,
Yeah.
beautiful.
That is, that's neat.
And he composed this song, and it's an invitation for the Lamanites to read the Book of Mormon, and it talks about Joseph Smith. So it's called Listen, Oye Lamanita, Listen Lamanite, and then it's how this is your story, and then it talks about
La historia escrita por
this is your story, a story written
escrita por Morón.
by Moroni,
No,
Mormon,
Ajá.
okay,
Eso es que fue compilada por Morón.
yeah, compiled by Moroni.
Ajá.
So it talks
Y que
about,
fue
it just talks
traducida-
about the
y que fue
history
traducida
and
por
translated by Joseph Smith.
See, that's why they're joining the church in such number down there, because they really have the blood of Israel in them.
Yeah.
And they recognize it when it comes to them.
Now,
And these-
has he been a member all his life?
No, he's a convert. In '89, and then
And then
left
he
on
went
his
on a
mission.
mission.
Yeah,
That's neat.
Where did you serve your mission?
En north of Peru.
northern Peru.
And you, where,
So-
what part of Peru were you born in?
In Huancavelica or in Lima? In Lima, in the capital.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pienso, yo estaba
Oh, now-
preparado en las montañas y vine a la ciudad.
He thinks he was prepared in the mountains and he came to be born in the city.
All right.
Because the family minded.
Y esto vine y
Yeah.
así.
Yeah.
Now, these instruments are indigenous to Peru.
Well, they're indigenous to the Incan Empire, and some of them perhaps before the Incas, which didn't have the modern day countries like we call them. But they cover what we call now Peru, Ecuador, Chile.
No, Chile no.
Part-
Solamente Bolivia, Perú y Ecuador que
Boli-
sobreviven ahora, no hay más.
Okay, it was only Bolivia, Ecuador, and Peru, but the Andes covers parts of Argentina and
Yeah.
Chile too, and so you do hear to this type of music. But the main countries now are Bolivia, Ecuador, and Peru.
Yeah, Peru is very prominent in the days of the Lamanites, Nephites.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sí, hay más.
yeah, it's concentrated there, but it's mostly the highland
Bolivia.
music, not the
Yeah.
jungles
Yeah.
or the coast.
Bolivia es todavía el 70%.
Yeah, in Bolivia, he says it's still about 60 or 70% indigenous,
Oh, is it?
whereas in some other, like Argentina, it's really European. There's,
Yeah.
No hay.
they're mostly,
Yeah.
there are the indigenous, but it's
1%.
mostly European
Well, like
immigrants.
that here. We don't
Right.
have too
We're
many
melting
indigenous.
pot.
Right, right. But in Bolivia, there's a lot of indigenous blood left, less of the, they're the majority of the population, which is,
That'd be neat.
yeah.
Now Brazil's got a lot of immigrants, don't they? Japanese
Yeah,
and Portuguese.
there's a big, and yet they still have a lot of tribes
Yeah.
in their jungles and
Uh-huh.
but in the big cities is where you see the immigrants' blood, the more European blood.
Now, where did your parents or your family come from?
My mom came from Argentina, from close to the capital of La Plata, but her lineage is from Italy. They were
Oh.
immigrants to Argentina from Italy and Spain, actually. My great-grandparents were 19 and 20 years old when they left the mountains of Spain, actually with the border of France, it's
Yeah.
by Barcelona and
Yeah.
Stork. She was 19, he was 20, and they just decided to go on to the new land, the new world, which was supposedly full of new opportunities. And he was called Modesto, which means modest, and she was called Liberada, which means liberated.
Esa combinación.
I know, so what a combination. So they're really the first in Argentina and then Italian immigrants, and then my mom came to the U.S. With my dad. My dad is from Romania, and he escaped there during the communist regime. He traveled to Germany, to Italy, and eventually found his way over to Argentina, where he met my mom, and then they came here to the land of opportunity. So, and I think they were married in Georgia.
Oh,
But their
wow.
professors, they taught at Ohio State, then they were teaching in Oregon. That's when I was born, and then they got a position here, and they moved here, and we've been raised here in California.
Well, that's very interesting.
That's
How
the
did you
story.
two guys meet?
How did we meet? He
Music?
don't remember.
You've always known her, huh?
He's always known you.
Well, he just knew you from the other world.
I think so.
And he knew you, when he saw you here, he knew that was the one he knew.
I
of
think
it.
so because the first date we had, or whatever you want to call it, when we met and got to know each other, he asked me to marry him that very first
Oh.
time.
He knew.
So somehow he knew.
Yeah.
You weren't quite as convinced.
I wasn't quite as convinced because it didn't make any
He had
sense
this
to me.
strange religion.
Yeah. Well, because it something felt good about it or right, but my mind was saying he doesn't know me. All he knows is what I look like. He doesn't know, my intellect or what I'm like. How can he just, this guy's fooling? I kept on rationalizing it a lot. But he said, no, it was the spirit it indicated to me. But for me, I was thinking about it all the time. Wait a second, what do you mean? So, it didn't, but it felt right to me too. I think the spirit probably indicated to me, but I was too busy thinking about it. And he was just, no, you're fine. And then so I would say, no, I have to finish college. And he'd say, oh, okay, I'll wait. And then I'd say, no, I have to do this. Oh, okay, I'll wait. So he kept on waiting.
So how long have you been?
He only had to wait 8 months and we got married.
Oh.
He wore you down, huh?
That's pretty fast. Well, but it started from day one.
So how long have you been?
So we've been married since August of '95,
Oh.
18th of August.
Mhm.
But then we were,
Las rocas ahora.
yeah, he was up in San Francisco with his group and he had come to Monterey to play. That's where we met. I was there trying to find something for my older brother for Christmas, just coincidence. Well, maybe not coincidence. And that's where we met, but we live about 2 hours. Salinas, San Francisco is 2 hours. So I invited him to come and just look at the beautiful coastline that Big Sur is, Monterey,
Yeah.
down there. So that's where he came down
Hello,
and
yes.
right in
Yes.
the hilly part of Big Sur, we went walking, and that's where he,
Uh-huh.
overlooking the ocean, that's where he asked me to marry him. So we actually got married there. We walked down the rocks overlooking the ocean, just as the sun was setting. We
Sorry
got
to hear that.
married, but
Sorry to hear
it wasn't by
that.
the
It's,
church. It was,
relief.
we just found a minister who wanted to do it. But we didn't tell him that he had to walk down these cliffs. He said, we want to do it outside of Big Sur. It's only a couple miles away. And it wasn't a lot of miles from Carmel, the other city. But we didn't tell him anything about rocky cliffs. But he was a good sport. He did it. He went down. And we should have brought some pictures. And then December of '96, we were
I
still
don't, but I know somebody does.
in
Glenda.
Salt Lake City.
Really.
Oh, because after he asked me to marry him, the next postcard I get through the
Adele.
mail is,
She wants to know
oh,
what
and when we
Mankin's
get
number
married,
is
it's
that
gonna
he-
be here, and it was a postcard of the Salt Lake Temple. I still hadn't said yes, but he was still in. So well, when we get married, it'll be in this place. I'd like it to be in this place. So that was the Salt Lake. So that's why we decided to get married in the Salt Lake Temple.
You have to start writing this all down.
Yeah, I think so. The kids will probably hear it a million times, so. That's great.
It was kind of a funny deal with when I met my wife.
Oh, huh?
I just come down to California. We're both from Utah, and she's from Lehigh. I was from Vernal, down the eastern edge of it. Anyway, third Sunday I was to church. I was talking, so we had Sunday school first and second week later in the day.
Right.
So anyway, I was talking with another returned missionary. I'd just been home from my mission a few months, and he had been in England on his mission. He was released from the war, came along, he was sent home. That's when I was sent back to the States. But anyway, we were waiting there for Sunday school to start. He was one of the superintendents. It was his turn to conduct. So just about time for Sunday school to start, here 3 young ladies came walking in. So he called them over, introduced me to them, and says, take Elder Merrill to class. Well, I said, she's been taking me ever since. That was in first part of June of 1940. We were married a year later.
Wow.
I went with others during the time, but by fall I was pretty sure that
You knew.
what I wanted. We were married next May.
Good.
So I've been saying that
Now she watches
she,
the Sunday school every
she's
day,
been
every Sunday.
she's been taking me ever since. We've had a good life together.
Good. Do you have some water?
Oh, I think we can find some
Yeah.
water.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad she called me and invited me down.
Like, Jamie's gonna get caught there.
Thanks.
With tuna.
He forgets he's got that
And
sometimes.
he just takes off. No. Where do you live?
I live in Claremont.
Oh, okay. And you live,
We're straight north up here. We're
On
still in
town, north
Pomona.
of, on town, go north on town,
uh-huh,
almost to Fuego,
okay.
but
Oh, okay. Right.
A little bit
No.
west.
just,
Okay.
yeah.
The second street over from town.
And do you live there?
I live with her,
Okay.
yeah.
I got everybody living,
You got
all my
everybody
kids
living.
except one. One lives in, up by Carson City, Nevada.
Uh-huh.
June,
Yeah.
that was Ivadell and Bert passed away.
Oh,
Oh.
did he? Oh.
Friend of ours, he's in his mid-90s,
Although
Yeah.
he's younger than Edna. And
but he's
Edna's-
only 2 years,
Yeah, well, she's 93, I think.
so he's 91.
Yeah.
I think he's 10 years older than me.
And she's.
10 years old, yeah,
she's
he'd be
still living,
91.
isn't she?
Huh?
She's still living.
Yeah, oh
isn't she?
yes. The last time I went down to the visitor though, I'm a visiting teacher.
Yeah.
Why, she was in
Thank
bed
you.
and, oh, her legs are that wide, so.
Anyone else? That's water.
No, thanks.
June?
I'm fine, thanks.
Okay.
I'll fix you a
Very
dish of ice
fresh.
cream, so if you want to go play, or if you're, I bet you I'll rest out.
Yeah, we wanted just some water and then we play some
I'll
more.
have some ice cream ready in a minute.
Oh, thanks. When he came in here, he said, "Oh, it feels so good in there, like we're with a."
I just don't see how you can do it.
Before you guys leave, I'll have to have you come and play for one of the high priest stuff or something in our ward.
See,
Okay,
those three are in Claremont's second ward.
right, okay.
But we were all in Claremont.
We were all in Claremont's
I've
second ward
been in all
until-
three Claremont, when it was just all Claremont ward before the church grew big. Then we were split and we were in Claremont second. Then they did some more splitting, we're in Claremont first. We've been in
Yeah.
7 wards.
In this
Wow.
house,
It's called Claremont.
in this house.
Well, when
No,
I first,
no, we
when I
were
first
part of
came to
Pomona.
Pomona, there was only one ward, Pomona ward.
In
Then
1948.
they divided and made a Pomona first and Pomona second ward, but the
That's
second
when I
ward,
moved out
the
there.
first ward was Claremont and Laverne and that area up there, and Pomona was here in Chino. Then they dropped the Pomona
Went to
second
Mont-
ward and made it
Mont-
Claremont ward.
Claremont.
Claremont
I
ward.
moved to
Then they made the
Claremont.
Chino ward, Chino branch first, and then
Yeah.
turned into Chino ward. Then the Montclair ward,
Well,
which
we-
took
well,
this
the-
part
and
of Pomona
Laverne.
here.
It
We
was
were never in Chino
Pomona,
ward, we were in the
second,
Pomona,
Claremont. Or
Pomona
Montclair.
second, the Claremont, and Montclair wards. Now we're back in Chino, or Claremont.
No, we were back in Pomona for 4 years and then
And then
Claremont and Claremont first and Claremont second.
Well, it's funny,
Or the other way
when
around.
I was
Claremont second,
here,
then-
they didn't move.
Well, that's same with us.
Yeah.
When I was in elementary school
All
and
that-
junior high and high school,
Lived in the same house.
we were in
Where is it?
Montclair ward.
I think the video is running, do you want
Yeah,
to run it?
You want your video still going, Elmer?
How do you turn the thing off?
I figured you.
We'll leave it on, we'll leave it on.
You don't know how to do it.
Oh, I think I can let you talk to her.
To whom, Sharon?
Sharon, her daughter wants her.
Yeah.
that and play this all at the same
Look
time.
at that. He's got three
Yeah.
things going at one
That's
time.
right. There's that too.
One more.
Four. Yeah.
You know, I think they can sing that song. You know this song.
It sounds very,
Sounds
Doesn't it sound very familiar?
very familiar, but I can.
Damos, Señor, for us prophet to guide us in these latter days. With faith that she wants and with a God. He's singing it in Spanish. Dándonos cómo vivir. Y gracias por todos los dones, benditos por tu gran amor. Tenemos placer en servirte, a ti nuestro gran bienhechor. A ti nuestro gran bienhechor. You can sing along if you want.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Need hymn books next time.
That's
But
beautiful.
I know it in Spanish, just the first verse.
Uh-huh.
But I remember just the beginning of it in English. But I don't remember the rest of it.
I don't remember all of
Yeah,
it.
but that's
I
the
can
song.
That's,
It's just that it's in a rhythm from South America.
Right.
Because in
Yeah.
the hymn book it's
Yeah.
more of a march.
Yeah.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
Our
dun, 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 dun.
prophet,
It's more like a
guide
march.
us
Yeah.
in these latter days. We thank thee for sending the gospel to lighten our minds with its rays. We thank thee for every blessing bestowed by thy bounteous hand. We feel it a pleasure to serve thee and love to obey thy command. So there.
I've been hoarse all day. I can't sing if I
So
want.
they're ready to hit the road, I think.
Oh, this is, I hope you're not all breathed out.
So now do you want the story of how you play all these instruments? Because after every song, Merle says, I don't know how you play that instrument.
I just can't believe it. How can he keep his mind hip here and down?
I don't know. But what happened was that we traveled in a big group, and he just played the flutes, and that was it. And this flute
kind.
too.
Now that, yeah, the,
This is called a quena.
yeah.
And there's actually, you want to play the, it's longer and it's deeper.
Y no estamos saliendo de tiempo.
So anyway, it's a little deeper sound.
Yeah.
So he just played those, and then there was a guitar player and a charango player, which is like a small mandolin that
Oh, yeah.
we have there, and a drum player, and I played the fiddle. And so, but we broke up from this big group because we got married, and we split up from the group, and I came here to school. But we decided that we still wanted to play this music, and how were we going to do it? Because this was his job. It was the only source of income, and as a student, I taught some classes as a professor's assistant, but it wasn't enough to buy more than top ramen. So, and also when we were traveling through all these places, we realized that a lot of people really liked it. They really enjoyed it. They'd start moving and dancing. It was just really nice. And it was the first place I saw grandmothers buying the same CD as their teenage kids. Usually doesn't happen. Usually it's different musical styles. But so anyway, we figured that a lot of people liked it. But once we were in Texas, they asked us if we were from Tibet.
Oh, really?
So we thought, well, they like the music, but they don't know too much about where it comes from. So we should actually teach about it as well. Some others thought they were from Spain, and they liked it, but they didn't know, so we thought maybe we should also go into education and teach about the culture. And we have gone to a lot of schools. And then our interest with the Book of Mormon actually takes us to those discussions too. But anyway, we didn't have a whole band, it was just us. So he says, I'm gonna do it, I'll play them all. Oh, well, actually what happened, first of all, right, what happened is that we found a string player, and we had a performance at Chaffey College where we were going to teach about the culture and we're going to play, and some other contracts that we had already. So we were starting up the business again, and we found a guitar player, and he would play the strings, and he would play the flutes, and it would work out, and then I would play the violin and the drum. Anyway, this guy disappears right before the concert, before we go to his house, he doesn't live there anymore, we were stuck, and that's when we decided to really depend on each other and not on other people, because even when we were traveling with a large group, it was just hard to have all the dynamics work, and so we decided, let's keep it in the family as much as we can. He said, well, we have to do this contract, because we already said we'd be there. And I was going to, I was a theater major, so I was going with the professor to tour a play that we were doing. Actually, we were taking it to BYU, my first time there, and then we took it to Canada. So I was going to be gone for a little while. And he said, well, don't worry, I'll figure it out, I'll play somehow. So okay, and I left, and I would call, at night, and how you doing? So I'm practicing, and he would play a little bit, and he said, well, look, I have the guitar, and he had, when I came back, yeah, he would just say, right, you didn't play with him, he would just tell me that he was practicing, oh, whatever, he's practicing, but when I came back, he played one song, right? You had 2 songs already on the guitar and on the flute, all coordinated, because this has the rhythm and this has the melody, and he figured out this way to put it on the stand and with elastic bands. You see what he's done there? Right. And but when I called, he'd say, well, I was practicing. Oh, okay, good, but I didn't expect what I found when I got there when he was playing all. And then a little later, he practiced more. We did our contract. He played all of them together. I think we've improved a little bit since then, and we were just starting then. And then he started with a drum, and then there's more and more songs. But he has a testimony about all this, because it wasn't just practice. Because well, how'd you do that? Because first of all, you didn't really play the guitar. You only knew a couple of chords, and it wasn't his instrument. And then to coordinate all this, how'd you do that? And he said, well, I didn't only practice all day till my fingers were sore, but before each practice I would kneel in prayer, and then after each practice I would kneel in prayer, and I asked Heavenly Father, brings me joy, it brings other people joy, and it's my income. This is the way we can support our family right now. So he was blessed by that, and now he plays all these instruments. And for me, who's just seen it, it's miraculous in the sense that it happened in such a short time span that he was able to, in about 15 days, to play all that.
He's an orchestra by himself.
Because he doesn't come from a lifetime of playing guitar to say, well, then he just needed to coordinate. He actually had to sort of learn the instrument, plus coordinated it.
He had it in here, though.
Yeah, somehow he had it in his heart, perhaps. And yeah, now he's a whole orchestra, like you said. I'm just a sideshow here. So we can, when we go to schools, we can share that testimony sometime. It comes out more in the questions afterwards, because it does relate a lot to our beliefs of the Book of Mormon, and so we're able a little bit to go into that. And one of the questions they always ask is, why are you so happy? Because we're always smiling when we're playing, and so that gets us to talking about, well, we're married for eternity, or so, and then they can,
now what does that mean? How do you do that?
We're happy because we go to church, what? So then it gets into conversation. So it's really neat. We've gone from kindergarten to graduate school teacher training, where we talk about how they can use music and storytelling to teach things. Kids will remember through stories more than if you just give them dry facts, even though you're giving them facts through the story. So we've taught teachers, we do workshops, but mostly it's with kids that we work, and it's been lots of fun. But that's a contract. You go and they pay you for an hour, and you usually don't sell too much of your materials. And traveling is a little bit different. They don't pay you to play at the festivals. It just depends on if people like it, how many CDs they buy. So it's a little more risky. So that's why we're at the point where, what do? I have a sure job, teacher position with benefits and everything waiting for me, or do I take the risk and start playing music? So we're at a position in our lives where later on I'll look at the tape and say, okay, I remember when I was trying to decide. I don't know what we're going to do.
Well, this is where prayer comes in again.
Right.
Yeah.
I live on prayer.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
Kinda have to.
Boy, and I tell you, I had someone ask me once, well, I was president of the Mutual here a few years ago, and my first counselor said to me one day, how can you pray? How can you believe in the Lord? You've had so much illness, so much sickness, so many problems. I said, hey, listen, I know him because I've had to go to him so much, and I've seen him. Life hasn't been easy, but
It's through those
somehow it
trials.
works out. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're sustained and it works out. I am amazed. You know, it's really amazing to me. And you know, you get a feeling in here when it's a peace of mind.
Doing there.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful what you did. It was very
well.
pretty.
Did I ad lib?